Have you ever felt like no matter how far you run, how many books you read, how deeply you heal, something invisible keeps dragging you back to a version of yourself you swore you'd outgrown? You see the signs, you do the work, you feel the shift, but then suddenly, without warning, the anxiety returns. The same patterns resurface, the loop tightens, and you're left wondering, why does it still feel like I'm stuck inside a reality I no longer believe in? The truth is, it's not because you're weak. It's not because you're doing it wrong. It's because you're entangled. Quantum physics has a word for it: coherence. Your body, your beliefs, your subconscious, all of it is still resonating with the frequency of who you used to be. And in the quantum field, that signal is a magnet. The old identity, the one shaped by fear, scarcity, betrayal, it broadcasts a vibration that the universe continues to match, not out of punishment, but precision. The field doesn't give you what you want, it gives you what you are. And until you disrupt that signal, until you break the vibrational code of your past self, you'll keep collapsing timelines that feel heartbreakingly familiar. But here's the breakthrough. Just because the loop is strong doesn't mean it's permanent. There's a version of you that already exists on a new frequency, not as a metaphor, but as a literal potential in the quantum field. And the way to reach them isn't to try harder, it's to shift deeper. Because the moment you stop reacting to life from the signature of the old you and start observing from the vibration of your future self, reality begins to rearrange. The loop doesn't survive your upgrade. In this video, I'm not just going to explain why old energy pulls you back. I'm going to show you how to dissolve its grip from the inside out, using the physics of consciousness and the mechanics of frequency. By the end, you won't just understand the loop, you'll know how to break it. So stay until the very last second. Your next timeline is waiting. You were never meant to stay in the same frequency forever. But most people do, not because they lack will, but because they mistake comfort for alignment. Think of your nervous system like a sacred antenna. It was tuned long before you were conscious of tuning it. Every heartbreak, every rejection, every ancestral wound etched a frequency into your field. And even as your mind expands, your body often still whispers the old code. Be careful, don't trust, stay small, survival first. This is what scientists now call neuroenergetic imprinting, where the electromagnetic patterns of past emotions remain stored in your system long after the moment has passed. You're not reliving memories, you're replaying frequencies, and that replay sends a signal. That's why even when you think you've healed, you still attract the same types of people, the same limiting situations, the same inner voice that says, not yet, maybe later, not enough. Because the field isn't responding to your desire, it's responding to your dominant vibration. Here's where it gets wild. Quantum coherence shows that if even one part of your system, your heart, your breath, your subconscious, still holds onto an old signature, that's the frequency the quantum field locks onto. Not your journal affirmations, not your meditation mantras, your baseline coherence. That's what's pulling you back. But the good news is this: you don't have to destroy the past to break free. You just have to stop syncing with it. Because energy cannot hold you without your attention. And the moment you reclaim that attention, the loop begins to weaken. This isn't wishful thinking, it's electromagnetic reality. And once you understand how frequency works, how your focus acts like a command line to the universe, everything begins to shift. You're not broken, you're just broadcasting an outdated signal. And when you shift your frequency, the entire field responds. So in the next few minutes, we're going to begin that shift together, not with effort, but with resonance. Because the future you seek is not far away. It's already vibrating. It's just waiting for you to match it. Maybe you've been asking yourself silently, why do I always end up here? You do the inner work. You say the right things. You follow the practices. But somehow the shift never lasts. The glow fades. The trigger returns, the relationship collapses, the dream slips further away, and deep down a voice creeps in. maybe something's wrong with me. But what if I told you there's nothing wrong with you? What if the problem isn't you, but the invisible loop you're still entangled with? A loop that doesn't just live in your thoughts, but in your nervous system, your posture, your breath. That's why you keep snapping back, not because you're broken, but because your body still thinks the old identity is safe. You crave abundance, but your system still holds the tension of survival. You long for deep love, but your heart still braces for the moment it will leave. You visualize expansion, but your field still whispers, "It's not time yet." This is the pain most people don't speak of. The quiet war between the self you're becoming and the frequency you haven't yet released. And that war is exhausting. It drains your power. It convinces you to settle. It tells you to lower your standards and call it realism. But that ends today. Because the truth is, you were never meant to stay small. And the field is not withholding anything from you. It's waiting. Waiting for one thing: alignment. Not effort, not perfection. Alignment. The good news? Alignment isn't complicated, but it is precise. And in the next few minutes, we're going to walk through exactly how to find it. Through a method that rewires not just your thoughts, but your entire electromagnetic field. You don't need to fight your way out of the loop. You need to rise above its frequency. And the moment you do, everything changes. So if any part of you has ever whispered, "I know I'm meant for more," stay with me. Because in the next section, we're going to decode the hidden pattern that's been running your life, and finally show you how to rewrite it. Let's get honest. You're not stuck because you're weak. You're stuck because your nervous system has been trained to expect pain. That loop you keep falling into, it's not random, it's architecture. Every time you were disappointed, abandoned, rejected, your body learned. It learned to protect you, and that protection became a pattern. Over time, those patterns encoded into your brain as default settings. You don't even realize it, but you're rehearsing them daily. Not with your words, but with your breath, your thoughts, your attention. Neuroscience calls this predictive coding. Your brain constantly predicts what's going to happen next based on the past. It doesn't wait to see the future. It creates it, on autopilot. And the quantum field? It responds not to your potential, but to the signal you're currently emitting. Here's where it gets deeper. According to Dr. Joe Dispenza and the research from HeartMath Institute, your electromagnetic field, yes, the one your heart and brain constantly emit, is a live broadcast into the quantum. Not metaphorically, measurably. And when your thoughts, emotions, and body are misaligned, your field is incoherent, like static on a radio. That static keeps you entangled with old timelines, no matter how big your dreams are. Because the universe doesn't respond to what you want, it reflects what you are being. And most people? They're being the version of themselves who's still afraid, still proving, still surviving, even when they say, "I'm manifesting." That's why things don't land. Because the desire is coming from a frequency that doesn't match the outcome. But when you start aligning your nervous system, your breath, your focus, all into a new coherent state, your signal sharpens, and the field listens. Possibilities begin to collapse in your favor. Not slowly, instantly. This is not about bypassing your past. It's about becoming too aligned to be pulled back into it. And that shift isn't spiritual fluff. It's energetic fact. In the next section, I'll show you how to begin retraining your field, so the loop finally breaks, not just in theory, but in your cells. This is where quantum alignment begins, and once it starts, the old energy can't hold you anymore. Let's bring this from theory into embodiment. Because knowing isn't enough. You need to feel the shift. You need to broadcast a new signal so clearly that the field has no choice but to reflect it. So here's your first frequency reset. Simple, immediate, transformational. I call it the observer interrupt. It works like this. The moment you notice yourself slipping into doubt, into lack, into the voice that says, "Not again," pause. Don't fight it. Don't analyze it. Just name it, out loud. Old loop, old frequency, that's not me anymore. Why does this work? Because naming disrupts the automatic program. The moment you speak awareness into a subconscious pattern, you weaken its grip. That tiny pause, that breath of recognition, is enough to break coherence with the past. Now take it deeper. After naming it, shift your state physically. Roll your shoulders back. Lengthen your spine. Take a deep, full breath into your belly. Exhale through your mouth slowly. Feel the ground. Feel the now. That shift in posture, that breath, that return to presence, it sends a new signal. One that says, I'm no longer watching from the past. I'm choosing a new observer. This is quantum alignment in real time. Your body is the anchor. Your awareness is the selector. And together they begin tuning your field to a new reality. Do this once, it's a moment. Do it often, it's a new identity. Because repetition isn't just habit, it's how frequency stabilizes. The more you interrupt the old loop, the more space you create for something new. And in the quantum field, space is everything. Space is where new timelines emerge. So try this. Today, notice every moment you're slipping back, and instead of spiraling, observe, interrupt, re-choose. That's how you become untouchable to the past. And the more you stabilize in this new state, the more you'll begin to feel something wild. The loop can't find you anymore, because your signal has changed. In the next section, we'll go even further. I'm going to walk you through a full energetic reset, one you can use daily, to not just shift your mood, but to collapse a new timeline into form. You're doing more than healing, you're broadcasting a new reality. Let's go deeper. Now that you've begun interrupting the old loop, it's time to do something even more powerful. Tune your entire field to a new frequency. This isn't a trick, it's a transmission. So right now, wherever you are, pause. Give yourself this moment. Because what you're about to do isn't just self-care, it's quantum alignment. Close your eyes, gently. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Hold it for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale slowly through your mouth. Again, inhale, presence. Exhale, the past. Now place your hand on your chest. Feel your heartbeat. That's not just a rhythm, it's a signal. And right now we're going to change what it's broadcasting. I want you to imagine a version of you, already living the life you've been visualizing. Not someday, now. Where are they? What do they wear? How do they move? What don't they worry about anymore? Don't just see them, feel them. Because here's the secret. That version isn't far away. They're already in the field, vibrating at a higher frequency. And the moment you begin to observe life from their state, not yours, theirs, you start collapsing their timeline into your present. That's not imagination. That's mechanics. So as you breathe, start observing from their eyes. Imagine waking up in their body, speaking with their confidence, walking with their ease. Feel the safety, the clarity, the quiet knowing, this is who I really am. Let that frequency wash over you like a current. Let your shoulders relax. Let your jaw soften. Let your breath deepen. This is not performance. This is permission. You're giving your nervous system a new signal, one that says, it's safe to rise. It's safe to receive. And when your body believes it's safe, your field expands. And when your field expands, your reality changes. Hold this state for 20 more seconds. Lock it in. Anchor it. Because the more you return to this frequency, the more it becomes your default. Not because you force it, because you remember it. This is the ritual, short, daily, life-changing. And in the next section, we'll reveal why this practice doesn't just change your energy, it actually bends time. Literally. Because quantum change isn't linear, it's instantaneous. And once you tune to the right frequency, the future rushes in. Here's something most people don't realize. Your future isn't far away. It's not months or years down the line. It's not waiting on circumstances. It's waiting on coherence. Because in the quantum world, time doesn't flow the way we think. It folds. It bends. It rearranges itself around your signal. And when your vibration becomes precise enough, time speeds up to meet you. That's why breakthroughs often feel sudden, out of nowhere. But they never are. They're collapsed timelines, drawn in by alignment. You felt it before. A person enters your life and everything accelerates. An idea lands and shifts everything. A message, a moment, a decision, and the entire path bends. That's not luck. That's frequency. That's what happens when the new version of you becomes strong enough to override the gravitational pull of the old. Most people think they need to earn their future. Do enough, prove enough, wait long enough. But the quantum doesn't operate on merit. It operates on match. And the moment you become a vibrational match to your next timeline, time as you know it begins to dissolve. The delays vanish. The resistance softens. The path clears. Not because you forced it, but because you stopped vibrating from the version of you who was still waiting. That's the trap. Waiting is a frequency, and it creates more of itself. But embodiment? Embodiment creates collapse. So ask yourself honestly, what have I been waiting for? Proof? Permission? A sign? Here it is. This moment, this frequency, this version of you who's remembering. You don't chase the future, you collapse into it. And the key is not action, it's alignment. And now that you've felt even a glimpse of that coherence, you can't go back. The loop can't hold you anymore. You've tasted the timeline, and the field has already started reorganizing. But there's one more truth you must hear before this shift becomes permanent. One final lock that, when released, makes this transformation inevitable. And in the next section, we're going to expose that truth. Stay with me. You're closer than you've ever been. Here's the truth most people don't want to hear, but it's the one that will set you free. You're not waiting for your dream reality, you're delaying it with your frequency. And it's happening in the subtlest way, through fake embodiment. Sounds harsh? Stay with me. This is the shift. Most people believe they're manifesting. They write affirmations, they visualize, they act as if. But under the surface, their body still tenses in fear. Their breath still shortens in doubt. Their heart still braces for disappointment. That misalignment creates static. The quantum field doesn't read your words. It reads your signal. And if your signal is, I hope this works, but I'm not sure, the field mirrors that hesitation. If your energy says, I want it, but I don't trust it yet, the timeline stays in limbo. Because here's the quantum catch. Desire without embodiment is resistance. You can want all day long, but if your nervous system is still vibrating at not safe, not ready, not yet, then that's what gets reflected. Not because you're unworthy, but because the field is precise. It gives you what you are, not what you wish to be. That's why change often feels so elusive. You're trying to collapse a future from the vibration of the past. But the moment you stop performing the new you and actually become them, without apology, without waiting, without needing external proof, everything shifts. Because the field responds instantly to coherence. So here's the question that flips it all. Are you rehearsing lack in the name of realism? Or are you ready to embody abundance even when there's no visible evidence yet? That moment of choice, that's the portal. And the ones who collapse new timelines aren't the ones who hustle hardest. They're the ones who stabilize their frequency until the universe has no choice but to reflect it. In the next section, I'll show you how to anchor that new identity so it stops being a peak state and starts being your baseline. No more up and down, no more start and crash, just embodiment, daily, unshakable. Let's lock it in. Now it's time to make the shift real. Not just something you feel during a video, but a new baseline your body remembers even when life gets loud. Because this is the secret most people miss. Frequency isn't held by thought, it's held by your nervous system. And unless you anchor the new identity into your daily state, your body will snap back to the old one the moment stress hits. That's not failure, that's biology. But you can rewire it. You can train your system to trust expansion. And the way you do that? Stability through ritual, not habit, sacred ritual. So here's how to lock in your new timeline with precision. Step 1. Morning encoding. Before you look at your phone, your tasks, your reflection, pause. Ask, what frequency am I choosing to broadcast today? Then breathe as that version. Even 90 seconds is enough to begin shifting your default signal. This is where you stop waking up as the old you. Step 2. Midday reset. Set a subtle alarm or cue, maybe after lunch, maybe on your walk. When it hits, ask, am I in the signal of survival or alignment? Realign your breath, drop into coherence. The more often you return, the more permanent it becomes. Step 3. Evening embodiment. Before sleep, review your day not from judgment, but from frequency. Where did I hold the new self? Where did I collapse? Then feel gratitude, not just for the good moments, but for the awareness, because awareness is the signal of transformation.
And focus loop method reshapes your energetic fingerprint. And here's what's wild. As your body adapts, it starts to crave the new frequency more than the old comfort. That's the breakthrough, because now the field doesn't just hear your intention, it starts mirroring your essence. Effort becomes magnetism, discipline becomes embodiment, and you stop trying to manifest, because you've become the version of you who doesn't need to.
In the final section, we'll seal this shift for good. I'll walk you through a final calibration that turns this video from motivation into quantum momentum. Stay with me. One more step, and the loop is gone. You've done more than watch a video. You've remembered a frequency. A version of you that's always been here, just waiting for your alignment. And now you've felt it. That means something has already shifted. You've stepped out of the loop, you've entered the field, and the universe is already listening. Not to your words, not to your hopes, to your signal. And now that signal says, I am ready. I am not chasing timelines. I am collapsing into them. I am not healing endlessly. I am embodying completely. I am not stuck. I was entangled with a frequency that no longer belongs to me, and now I've let it go. This is your declaration. But here's the quantum truth. Declarations without embodiment fade, so here's what seals the shift. Speak it, anchor it, become it. In the comments, write the words, I'm no longer in the loop. I've stepped into the field. Not for me, not for validation, but as a vibrational signature. Because what you write imprints, and what you imprint becomes. If this transmission stirred something in you, share it. Because we're not just building an audience, we're stabilizing a collective frequency. Every share is a ripple. Every comment is a code. And if you want to stay in this field, to keep rising, remembering, returning, then subscribe. Not just for more videos, for more coherence. This isn't just a channel, it's a tuning fork. And every time you return here, you return to yourself. So take one last breath with me. Deep inhale, soft exhale. Feel your new baseline. Feel the clarity, the stillness, the quiet knowing you're not the old you anymore. That loop, it's behind you. And what lies ahead is not something to chase. It's something to meet. And now, you're finally tuned to receive it. Welcome to the field. Welcome home.